The saga of Tucker Carlson's messy and abrupt exit from Fox News is still ongoing, with yet more revelations and speculation about what exactly led to his ouster. The story is yet another example of just how weak and fractured the already unpopular MAGA movement has become. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. After his abrupt and mysterious dismissal from Fox News, Tucker Carlson posted what I guess was some sort of proof of life video on Twitter last night. Filmed from what I can only assume is a secret lair at the base of a volcano or a fake doctor's office from a low-budget porno. Seriously, why are you zooming in from your sauna? That place looks like the Unabomber's hideout if he updated it and put it on Airbnb. I also love the carefully planted details in the background, like the globe. Ooh, a globe on a shelf. It's like we're supposed to think to ourselves, this mother is worldly. Also, what is it with these right-wing weirdos filming incredibly close-up videos from their phony-looking home studios? Trump does the same thing now with his stupid campaign videos. You know, his Zach Galifianakis ripoff, Between Two Flags. Now, Tucker never addressed his ouster from Fox, and most of what he said in the video is utterly meaningless, but he did end on a somewhat unnerving note.
When honest people say what's true, calmly and without embarrassment, they become powerful. At the same time, the liars who've been trying to silence them shrink, and they become weaker. That's the iron law of the universe. True things prevail. Where can you still find Americans saying true things? There aren't many places left, but there are some, and that's enough. As long as you can hear the words, there is hope. See you soon.
I'm impressed by the confidence of a man who went from filming a top-rated TV show in a flashy, high-budget studio to posting Twitter videos from what I can only assume is an episode of Tiny House Nation. He looks like he's auditioning to be the new chief on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego. Hello, gumshoes. Can you spot Carmen Sandiego in this peaceful protest? Let's zoom in. There she is. Good work, gumshoes. Also, it's very chilling when a figure as nefarious as Tucker ends a self-taped video from an undisclosed location with the words, "See you soon," and then just disappears. He should have pointed to the globe when he said that. See you soon, Jakarta. That's how a jilted husband ends a voicemail in a Lifetime movie. Next thing you know, he's on your balcony in a thunderstorm staring at you through your window. Hello, darling, it's me. I told you I'd see you soon. But that's ridiculous. This isn't actually a Lifetime movie. Tucker's never actually started out his show with some sinister hypothetical like that.
But first tonight, what if your next-door neighbor suddenly went dangerously insane and started holding people hostage in his house? Would you consider that threatening? Would you even notice it?
Jesus! That's how you start the show? How about a little ramp up, a couple jokes or something? He might as well have said, "Good evening, look out behind you, he's got a knife." Why is he talking about a hypothetical next-door neighbor who suddenly goes insane? He sounds like he's pitching a dark reboot of Seinfeld called Breaking Kramer. Of course, the difference is Kramer's not the one who knocks.
Hey.
So Sal wrote that "not the one who knocks" joke. And I read it and I didn't quite get it. And he goes, "You can cut it if you want." And I'm like, "If I cut it, how will you learn your lesson?" By the way, if you're curious, it was the absence of a laugh. Did you notice that? By the way, if you're curious what Tucker was actually talking about in that deranged hypothetical, he was talking about Canada. I swear, I'm not making that up. Here, watch.
Those are not theoretical questions. Something very much like that just happened in our national neighborhood. Canada.
It's amazing that the list of Tucker Carlson's imagined enemies now includes the entire nation of Canada, and somehow that's not even the weirdest thing on it. Anyway, Tucker posted this weird little video to, I guess, prove that he still exists after the network he worked for essentially disappeared him overnight. So far, there's been a lot of speculation over what exactly led to his exit, but nothing concrete yet. On the one hand, the LA Times reported that Tucker was pushed out by Rupert Murdoch himself and that Carlson's exit is related to a discrimination lawsuit filed by Abby Grossberg, a producer fired by the network last month. Meanwhile, The Wall Street Journal reported that Tucker Carlson's vulgar, offensive messages about his colleagues helped seal his fate at Fox News. And then Vanity Fair reported yet another stranger theory that Tucker Carlson's prayer talk may have led to his Fox News ouster, with one source saying that stuff freaks Rupert out. And it wouldn't surprise me. Rupert Murdoch definitely seems like the kind of guy who, even if he did go to church, would play hardball when the collection basket comes around. I'm not giving you a bloody cent unless I get VIP access to heaven. Look, we can't guarantee VIP access. We can tell St. Peter to expedite the entry process. All right, here's $1. Hold on, I'm taking out 85 cents. Don't move the basket, you. By the way, it also wouldn't surprise me if, when it comes to a guy like Tucker Carlson, there was, more than one reason for getting canned. Like, when they finally nabbed Jeffrey Dahmer, they weren't like, this is just for the last one. And sure enough, last night, the New York Times reported new information that Fox News board members had discovered even more vulgar text messages that were so bad they felt they needed to sever ties with Tucker ASAP.
Fox recently settled a defamation lawsuit with Dominion Voting Systems for nearly $800 million that alleged the network repeatedly lied about debunked election fraud claims. Private texts and emails from Carlson emerged during the lawsuit, including redacted messages about Fox News executives.
The New York Times reports Carlson's redacted text messages were even worse than ones which were revealed in those court filings. And there was one message that was particularly offensive, which added to the concern at the top of the company.
Wow, so Fox put up with his racism, bigotry, harassment, and conspiracy theories for years, but then they saw this one text message and said, we gotta get this guy the out of here. I mean, what did that text message say? I'll tell you what, that Joe Biden makes some good points. If you zoom out from the specifics of the Tucker saga for a second, there's a bigger story here. The drama and infighting that's now consumed the GOP, Fox News, and the MAGA movement is due in large part to the fact that their political project has been an abject failure. People don't want it. They've lost an election after election after election, and their tactics have caught up to them. That's why they're trying to turn the page and pivot to guys like Ron DeSantis. But much like the rest of the MAGA crowd, DeSantis is so weird and off-putting, he's falling behind in the polls. Even his speaking cadence is incredibly weird. Just listen to him try to deliver a normal speech.
Republicans need to shake the culture of losing that has developed in recent years. The time for excuses is over.
What is up with this dude? He sounds like he's starring in a middle school production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Hello, my name is Joseph, and this is my amazing new Dreamcoat. It's just regular brown because Technicolor has a gay agenda. DeSantis is so awkward and uncharismatic, he's somehow lagging behind an even more off-putting weirdo, the GOP frontrunner / current criminal defendant, Donald Trump, who, in addition to being under indictment, Trump is also, as we've documented many times before, a weird man. For example, he was campaigning recently in Florida, where he stopped at a pizza place and offered his fans some pizza in typically weird Trump fashion. Jesus Christ. In 40 years, the Republican Party has gone from Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall, to does anyone want a piece I've eaten? No wonder Tucker Carlson is hiding in a child's playhouse. Does anyone want a piece I've eaten? Do you mean like you'll chew it up, digest it, and then baby bird it into their mouths? Would anyone like a soggy piece of pizza? It's covered in my saliva and has already been pre-masticated by yours truly. Masticated. We love masticated, don't we? It means chewed, but it's a tricky word because it sounds like the other one. Masticated, you know the one I'm talking about, right? The M-word. We call it the M-word because we don't like to say it and we don't like to do it because if we do it, we go blind. And our you-know-whats, they
shrink and they become weaker.
What is going on? What is happening? Hey! That's our new, I'm gonna have our new slang for a video clip that doesn't work is, Kramered. Just like the Dominion settlement, Or the elections of 2018, 2020, 2022, the saga of Tucker Carlson's fall from grace is yet another example of what happens when the right-wing echo chamber collides with reality. It's a movement led by cruel, malicious bullies who think they're untouchable and who lie to their audience with contempt, and now it's catching up to them. Every time Trump and the MAGA crowd think they've achieved peace within the Republican Party, it turns out it's... This has been a closer look